Hello there guys, it's Captain Invisible and welcome to a Medieval 2 Total War battle replay. This one was sent in by the Pirate of Jamaica and he will be commanding the Spanish forces on this very wet battlefield on the Death Track map. I really do feel for the men of this battlefield because it's currently raining very hard in where I live as well, which is the England. I can't speak for Scotland, Wales or Ireland, but certainly in Yorkshire with its rolling hills, the weather does get quite harsh. So yes, I do really feel for these guys. Not for the crossbowmen because they can use their shields as sort of makeshift umbrellas, but yeah, the pikemen that have to carry these big pikes can't sort of protect themselves with it all that much. But yeah, this is the Death Track map, and as I say, the Pirate of Jamaica is in command of Spain, and his allies for this battle were Criminal-Copykill in command of the Turks. He's featured in a few of my other videos. And then over at this side, we've got... where is he? There he is. Camouflaged with all the rain and the green. It's SubutaiV321 in command of Russia, and their opponents today are Korreggan in command of France. I always love the French. The history is very interesting. For an Englishman, I feel a bit dirty, a bit dirty liking them too much, but they are a really nice faction in Medieval 2, and as I say, some of the history involving the Italian wars is pretty good. I do enjoy it. Then we've got Parker 695 in command of Venice. Venice are always a pretty powerful faction, and he's brought some Stradiots as per usual. So yeah, very nice armies. Venice can just bring so much decent units that it's hard not to pick them. I don't pick them on principle that they're kind of overpowered, but that's just me. And then we've got dumann playing as Milan. I'll leave the pronunciation of that up to you guys. I'll just call him dumann. Because he might not be dumann, he might be anything but dumann. Anyway, he's in command of Milan. Again, I quite like Milan as a faction. So we'll go over armies really quickly. He's brought 3 units of tercio pikemen, which he's upgraded to the 9s, really heavily upgraded pikemen. Then we've got about 4 units of dismounted conquistadors, I believe. So again, fully upgraded conquistadors, very powerful infantry. It's going to be tough breaking through those guys. And then it looks like a unit of dismounted chivalric knights, upgraded again at the end. Then we've got what looks like 4 units of Pavis crossbowmen, again with full upgrades and in loose formation. And then we've got, looks like 4 units of chivalric knights with full upgrades, and then 2 units of Knights of Santiago with full upgrades. And his general is somewhere... no, that's not his general. His general's somewhere in one of these units anyway. I've not seen this battle replay yet, so I don't know whether he's in the infantry or the cavalry, or he's just, you know, chilling out in the trees somewhere. But yeah, that's his army. Very powerful army. It must have been quite a high money battle because it's you know, the fully upgraded troops, and they are the top tier troops that Spain can bring as well. So we'll go over Criminal-Copykill's army. Again, really quickly, he's got what looks like 4 units of Turkish archers, an okay unit, okay missile unit for the Turks, but they can bring better. He's got a unit of Sipahi Lancers at the front, and that's it for Sipahis. He's got 2 units of General's Bodyguard on each flank. He's got a line of 4 units of Janissary Heavy Infantry, and then 4 units of Nafatoons. So that's 4 units of Nafatoons to throw their pots of death at everything they see. So that is a scary, scary army, with the Venetian Heavy Infantry, not the Venetian, with the Janissary Heavy Infantry as a holding force. He can really sort of get these Nafatoons in and really do some damage. And then there's 2 units of Saracen Militia in the frontier, just to make up the centre. And then in the back we've got what looks like 3 units of Allen Light Cav. A great piece of light cav there. They are really nice light cavalry units. I prefer the Sipahi Lancers just because they've got more armour, but these guys can do a pretty nice job on the battlefield if you use them correctly. So Subutai's army, he's got some Dover Cav, it looks like 2 units of Dover Cav, and then 4 units of Sarsgaard, the most elite cavalry of the Russian Tsar. Really going to be a very tough unit to crack there. The morale and the armour on these guys is just insane, and then coupled with the high attack of 14, they can really just rip through other cavalry units. So we've got, I think it's about 3 units of dismounted Devor, and then about 4 units of crossbow militia. I see a lot of people bringing this combination of Devor. Oh, sorry, is that 4? Yeah, that's 4 units of dismounted Devor and 4 units of crossbow militia. As I was about to say, I see a lot of people bringing this combination of missiles for Russia, so it's quite interesting to see. And we've got 4 units of dismounted Boyarsons with their cool looking Russian armour, and then 2 units of woodsmen, and he's got just a mix of upgrades on these guys, so as I say, it must have been quite a high money game. Very interesting to see high money games, possibly over 15k I would have said. So we'll take a look at the French army. He's got 4 units of Aventuriers without armour upgrades. Oh, well, this one's got armour upgrades. They look like conquistadors with crossbowmen, whereas these guys look like the conquistadors without the armour upgrades. So I guess they could be classed as conquistadors with crossbowmen, with crossbows. He's got 2 units of Scots Guard on this flank, protected by some noble knights. In the centre, we've got 2 units of armoured sergeants without upgrades. And then we've got 2 units of chivalric knights and a noble knight defending the front. We've got a general's bodyguard who doesn't have a general in on this flank. And then we've got a line of dismounted noble knights and about 4 units of chivalric knights. So very French infantry there. A mix of the very heavily armoured knights they used in many of their battles, and then his general is in a late period general's bodyguard. So that is Korreggan's army. We'll move on to the Venetians. So as I said, the Venice brought 2 units of Stratiots that are going to be sitting on the flank here. He's got 2 units of Pike Militia, which are holding the front, followed up by, looks like 4 units of Pavis Crossbow Militia, without upgrades. I think they're a lot better with upgrades, but that's my personal opinion. Then he's got a front line of 4 units of dismounted feudal knights, again without defense upgrades. This is a mistake. Feudal knights go from so to not upgrade the defense of feudal knights is quite a big mistake, because the cost you're going to make up from that is going to be insignificant compared to their combat efficiency with those upgrades. Instead, it looks like he's opted for morale upgrades, which are unnecessary for dismounted feudal knights. But each to their own. And then he's got, as I expected, about 4 units of Venetian heavy infantry. Again, he's not gone for defense upgrades on them. It's not as important with Venetian heavy infantry, but that cool looking sort of plate armor they get will help with their defense. But they do require morale upgrades, because Venetian heavy infantry morale is pretty poor. And then he's got 2 units of cavalry here. Looks like 2 units of Templars. One have 1 defense upgrade and possibly attack, and the other one don't. The other one doesn't have defense upgrades. Instead, he's gone for morale. So it will be interesting to see how the morale affects this army above the attack and defense upgrades. Usually, I go for attack and defense upgrades on my infantry and cavalry, but as I say, each to their own. We'll see how that plays out in the battle. And he's got another 2 units of Stratiots on this flank. So yeah, I expected nothing less from Venice. 4 units of Stratiots is what I expected. And then in this very interesting formation, we've got the Milanese force commanded by dumann. So he's got a unit of religious fanatics on this side, at the front, leading the army, along with the cavalry. Some Knights Hospitaller and Knights Templar. I think he's just got a mix of those guys. What looks like 4 units of Knights Hospitaller and a unit of Templars. Again, without defensive upgrades, but with morale upgrades. That'll be interesting to see. And then he's general in a general's bodyguard. Another unit of religious fanatics. And then a whole line of infantry. Looks like dismounted men-at-arms with some dismounted broken lancers. And then some dismounted feudal knights. So I think he's got 4 of each, so yeah, you could probably see it better here. So 3 men-at-arms, 4 broken lancers, and 5 dismounted feudal knights. Yeah, that's a pretty costly error there, coupled with the fact that he's got morale upgrade, or doesn't have any defense upgrades actually on his infantry. It's quite interesting. I mean, the armor of the Italian infantry is quite high anyway. This is just a bog standard armor of them, and they've got as high armor as sort of the standard armored swordsmen. So yeah, they've got high armor anyway, but they also need sort of some morale support. So that'll be interesting to see. No missiles, as far as I can see from Milan. I think that is his biggest error, and we'll see that play out in this battle. But for now, enough of my rambling about armies. We shall get into the battle and see what the teams do in this battle. As I say, it'll be interesting to see the whole morale sort of chevron upgrade over the defense upgrades, and just see how it plays out for the armies. I'd really like to see it do well, but my opinion is, because of the glitch where chevrons don't give, I think they don't give defense upgrades, or they don't give attack upgrades to your troops, even though it says it will. It never does. It's a glitch that forms in the game. Then I think it's a big mistake, and they do cost a hell of a lot more than just defense upgrades. So yeah, again, might be costly for them, but I'm not an expert on it, so we'll see how it plays out. So the Pirate of Jamaica is going to form up here, set up his crossbows and his pikes, and just hold this choke point. We've got some Milanese cav coming in, but he's going to scare them away with his own cav. and he's probably going to take shots at them. This side is just going to engage so quickly because, as I say, the Milanese just did not bring any missiles. We're going to have some Turkish archers firing in on these Milanese troops, and I'm just going to slow it down to about half speed because I'm going to lose. I'm going to run out of time to speak otherwise. So yeah, Turkish archers firing on the flanks of these troops as they're going to come in. We've got the crossbowmen firing at them. It looks like he's trying to get them in some form of formation, but the whole column formation has made them turn into a big blob. A cavalry charge against these infantry would absolutely wreck them. But currently all of Pirate of Jamaica's cavalry is currently in a fight on the flank. Or they could bring this unit through, and I would probably charge these units down here, break through here, and then hit these units in the flank. Looks like Dumann's sort of just stopped his formation here. You don't want to stop when you are rushing. It's like the worst thing you can ever do, losing momentum with your army. So he's just going to sit here and take archer fire on the flank, on the unshielded flank of these troops. As heavily armoured as they are, it's going to be just painful for them. And he's even turning his back to these archers as well, so these Turkish archers, coupled with the crossbowmen, are just going to be laying down so much fire on these Milanese troops, who are going to try to support their cav on the flank. Just to have a quick look at the other sides of the battle. Venice has moved up. He wants to take the fight to the Russians and the Turks, but Russia's formed up in a defensive formation here, so he's going to be blocked there. France is moving up on the flank. He might be able to take this flank here, but this is where the Sarsgaard are stationed, so they're going to really put up a decent fight. So it looks like Dumann is just wanting to rush all his army up this way. Again, huge mistake, because as he's moving this way, he's turning his entire flank to these archers and to these crossbowmen now, and it's just going to be coming in with armor-piercing fire. And as you can see from the bodies, there's just so many dead dismounted knights here. It's turned into quite a kill zone for the Milanese. But he probably wants to save his cavalry, which is highly outclassed in this matchup. These chivalric knights are so much more heavily upgraded than these Knights Hospitaller, and it's just going to cause them to lose this battle. So we've got these chivalric knights and conquistadors coming in to attack this big blob of Milanese troops, and it is a blob. The formation was just not there for them. Any cohesion was lost, and this blob's going to now be able to be surrounded and picked off on the flank by crossbow fire. And it looks like some Allen light cav from the Turks has managed to catch the enemy general as well. I'm not sure which side that was at. May have been over here. He may have been trying to run. And Captain, the Pirate of Jamaica, should I say? I'm Captain. The Pirate of Jamaica has managed to send some Knights of Santiago over to help his comrades, who are currently having a missile duel with the Venetians and the French armies. And we've got a daring cavalry strike coming in from the Venetians and the French. He's going to try to take the fight to the Sarsgaard, which, as I say, is going to be a tough fight for them. But these archers are currently under threat from these Stradiots. He needs to get them out of there quickly, and he's going to return their charge with some Sarsgaard. But the Sarsgaard are quite heavy cav, so I think these Stradiots will be able to pull out of that and be replaced by some heavier French knights. So the fight for this flank has ensued. The armies have clashed, the cavalry is engaged. And over on this flank, so over on this flank, there we are. It looks like the Milanese have been surrounded and are just being slaughtered. It was a really poor engagement there. I would have liked to see more from this Milanese army, because it was an interesting rush army, but the formation was just not there. He would have had to reposition his entire army, spread them out, and put his infantry power down, and he just couldn't do it in that column formation. So yeah, the Milanese army is currently getting surrounded by all these Spanish troops, and he's going to get hacked down. The cavalry fight wasn't going as well in the Spanish favour as I thought it would be. This is quite an interesting close fight. I would have thought it would have gone so much more in Spain's favour, but right now it's just mopping up these Milanese troops. So we'll head back over to the Russian and Turkish front, where the infantry is engaging. Looks like these Knights of Santiago are helping the Tsar's Guard with all this cavalry. We've got Venetian cavalry coming in and doing some strikes on some infantry, but it's going to lose numbers as it does. The Tsar's Guard are holding up so much cavalry. There's 3 units of cavalry here, and it's going to be held up by all this, just by a handful of Tsar's Guard. So, and just testament to how strong the Tsar's Guard are. They're really taking the fight to these chivalric knights. They've killed quite a lot of those chivalric knights. This one unit. The Knights of Santiago look like they are breaking. The Venetian heavy infantry with their armor-piercing warhammers are going to cut them down and defeat them. And then the infantry fight is engaged. And if you bear in mind that I am still on 0.5 and this fight's just ensued so quickly. Again, more Venetian forces. The French are holding back for now. Looks like they're still trying to outmaneuver the Russian lines. And then we've got some Venetian cavalry fighting these Sipahi lancers, and the general's bodyguard's going to come in. So we'll play this on normal speed. Looks like some Janissary heavy infantry is coming in to help deal with this cavalry. That is a fight that the Turks are going to slowly win with all this cavalry support and the support from the Janissary heavy infantry. That will help them a lot. The Venetian infantry has clashed with the Russian lines, and Russian infantry is not that good, so these Venetian units are going to be able to cut through them and be able to push on forward. Looks like they managed to catch some of these crossbow militia as well. But now we see the victorious Spanish army come forward, and they're going to be able to set up in position, ready to assist their allies. Their fight just went too well. It was always going to go in their favour with that formation. So now we've got the Turkish Janissary heavy infantry against a mixed Venetian heavy infantry and feudal knight force. The Janissary heavy infantry aren't that great heavy infantry compared to these two units. The feudal knights are just such a well-rounded infantry unit, and the Venetian heavy infantry, as you're aware, are one of the strongest infantry in the game. But yeah, these Janissary heavy infantry are not bad, but they could be better. They could definitely benefit from some improvements. So these Saracen militia are going to hold up this infantry, and then the Janissary heavy infantry are going to come in for a strike on the flank, and hopefully a flank charge will break these infantry units. Or at least I thought he was going to go for a charge. He's currently just sitting here, and he's going to let the dismounted feudal knights charge into him instead. So it looks like the Tercio pikemen have captured probably the Venetian general. And just when the Venetians were pushing through, they're going to get fire arrows and crossbow bolts fired at them. And these pikemen are going to hopefully try and do something about these Venetian forces. Yeah, very recently I've been I've started admiring pikemen a lot more in recent times, and they didn't do too bad there, but I saw them glitch a little bit. If you get them just right, they can fight pretty well as a holding force and start jabbing enemy infantry to death. Their attack animation is so quick, and if you think about pike units like the Swiss pikemen that can put down, or that have an attack of 15 or 12, they're putting down that 12 every time they poke an infantryman. So that's a ridiculous attack. That's, I think, equal to feudal knights and just under chivalric knight damage, but in a quick, rapid succession of attacks. Coupled with the fact that the enemy infantry is not going to be able to reach them, makes them quite a potent force. So the last remaining units of heavy infantry are trying to fight desperately against the freshly arrived Spanish forces. But personally, I think this battle is at an end. It's a desperate attempt. The loss of dumann, I said demand, didn't I? The loss of dumann so early in the game was hard on the opposing team, and I commend them for doing such a good job in this battle. We'll see what kills they get at the end. But yeah, against the freshly arrived Spanish, they just weren't going to do well in this battle. So I think the French have admitted defeat. Or is that the... no, that's the Venetians. So there's just the French now standing against the combined forces of the Spanish, Turks and the Russians. So the crossbowmen are putting up a good rate of fire on these encroaching Spanish forces. Their 40 missile attack with these armor-piercing crossbows is going to rip any unit to shreds that is going to be held in place, and that's exactly what these Scots Guard are going to do. They're going to hold these infantry in place whilst the armor-piercing crossbows come in to do their damage. But in the end, the simple infantry superiority of the attacking team, of the team of Pirate Jamaica, is going to win out against these forces. This desperate attempt at a defence is going to crumble with the arrival of all these troops. So yeah, as I say, it was a good attempt by both France and Venice to try and take this battle, because their ally just rushed in with that weird formation and basically cost his team the match. I would have been confident that if dumann hadn't charged in so recklessly and had actually brought Milan's greatest asset, which is their Genoese crossbowmen, then he may have had a chance to win this battle. But after that fatal error, this battle was always going to go in the way of Pirate Jamaica, SubutaiV and Criminal-Copykill. So here are the results of the battle. The Pirate of Jamaica getting 755 kills and 345 captures. Judging by the captures, you can tell it was an absolute slaughter of those those Milanese troops. SubutaiV321 getting 532 kills. So SubutaiV321 getting 532 kills and 32 captures. A very nice score there. Anything over 500 is what I would consider decent. Anything over 700 is considered really good, and anything over 1,000 is considered excellent in my book. Although it's not all about kills, it's how well you support your team, which Criminal-Copykill personally did quite well. I really did like his positioning at firing at those Milanese troops with his archers, and his use of the Allen Light Cav to mop things up was excellent. And he got 606 kills and a whopping 519 captures. So overall, he probably did the best in this match. Those captures, probably with the Allen Light Cav, is what made this battle. Very, very well done there. Probably capturing all of dumann's routing infantry. So, and as I say, that archer play with those Turkish archers, which aren't even the best archers the Turks can bring, was absolutely fabulous. I admire him for that. So dumann getting 308 kills and 0 captures. So he did get some kills for his team, but as I say, the reckless assault was well, reckless for his team, and it probably cost them the match. But I mean, I'm always a big fan of new tactics, but after seeing that, it was bound to fail. Unless you squeeze them through a little gap, don't line your infantry up like that. It's just going to make them blob up, and it's going to get you killed. So Parker695, who again I was pretty impressed with in this match. It's not every day you get to see someone new that you haven't seen play before that actually plays really well. I'm always up for seeing new people and seeing how they play. So Parker695, if you do ever happen to watch this, I think you're a great player, and if I ever see you online, we'll have a few games, because I'm always looking for really, as I say, really good players to play with. The newer players that have been on recently are pretty new to the game and don't understand quite a lot, but judging by his kills, 792 kills and 106 captures, you can tell that he played very well in this match, and he's probably a really good player. So yeah, really good there. And then Korreggan, I've seen Korreggan quite a few times, so I knew he was going to do quite well in this match, despite one of his allies doing really bad. So yeah, 564 kills, I would consider that, above average. So again, well played there. And then he got 40 captures somewhere down the line. I don't know how I don't know how the losing team manages to capture people, but as I say, it happens. So you can do what you want with your 40 prisoners there, Korreggan. So that was a battle. Pirate Jamaica did say it was going to be a slaughter, and I completely agree. His side was a slaughter, but I'm not a big fan of slaughter games, simply because they're a bit too one-sided. Either one player drops, or as you saw there, one player just throws their infantry in and it gets slaughtered. So I prefer really close battles, a bit like what Korreggan and Park were doing to Russia and the Turks until Pirate Jamaica showed up. But as I say, it was the only game he sent me, so I decided I'd just do a live, well, kind of a live commentary on it. I've not seen the battle before, so it was kind of live in my book. But yeah, it was a really good match, especially on, as I say, the Russian and the Turkish side against the Venetians and the French. But again, well played to all players. Hopefully this will teach you something for future battles. And as always, don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe. And I shall see you all in the next video. Thank you.